Hello and welcome to my gameplay video of Assassin's Creed Revelations. Today we are actually going to start Revelations, and it is our 27th day on our marathon stream
We can
towards
keep him like
Assassin's
this for a few
Creed
days, maybe a
Odyssey.
week.
Call ahead. Tell him we're on our way.
As soon as we're clear.
Desmond Miles. Your life has changed so much in so little time. 2 months ago, you were pouring shots for bankers and celebrities. But now look at you. You're an assassin. One of us. One of the good guys. Isn't that nice? Men and women dedicated to protecting and preserving human life and liberty. Not like those Templars. Cold and calculating autocrats, drunk on power, obsessed with order, all that. We're doing our best to stop them. Yeah, doing our best. But you remember all this, right? You remember the Animus, the machine we used to unravel genetic memories and relive the lives of our ancestors? First you were Altair, a stoic 12th century assassin from the Holy Land. Then you were Ezio Auditore, a wealthy Italian with charisma and a talent for revenge. So, what do you three have in common? That's right, the Apple of Eden. That strange artifact left behind by those people. The ones who came before. You know the Apple's power. You felt it for yourself. Oh, it's been fun, hasn't it, Desmond? But that's about to change. Your mind is fragmented, falling to pieces. And if you don't find a way to wake up, you may lose yourself. Forever.
Okay, I shut down the Animus monitoring system to free up a lot of memory, but even like this, it's still risky.
Desmond will be fine. The partition worked, the Animus is stable, and his signs are good.
For now. But this was built to recreate memories, not simulate entire cognitive processes.
The Animus will do its part, and Desmond will do the rest.
Well, that interesting. We got a little bit more story coming up, and then we're gonna dive a little bit deeper into what has happened than what you're getting right now. I do want to see more of his tattoo on his lower forearm though.
Just walk right past me.
16?
No, they didn't tell you my name.
God damn it, I'm still in the Animus?
Quite a shock you suffered out there.
Rebecca! Get me out of here.
They can't help you, Desmond. You're a broken man. Your mind, it's broken.
Broken. I feel fine.
So did I.
Hey!
Look at me now. Let's talk, buddy. Walk with me.
What is this place?
It's nice, isn't it? We're in the guts of the Animus. The original test program. No memories here, just basic physics, weather simulations. Hello, world. You're lucky someone up there had the sense to plug you in here. It saved your life.
Saved it from what?
Right now, you should be sitting in a hospital ward, drooling and chewing on your tongue. For now, the Animus is keeping you intact. Keeping all your ancestors from collapsing into one big mess. But if you can't find a sync nexus, all those personalities will smash together. And that won't be pretty.
A sync nexus?
I'm getting there. Hold on.
Hmm.
There. That thing is your way out.
You're screwing with me.
Here's the problem. Your brain is hash. Too many ghosts in your head, too many voices. So how do you fix that? You claw your way back into the stored data, you find unfinished memories, and you crack them open. Finish what you started, until your ancestor has nothing left to show you. That is a sync nexus. And when you find it, the Animus can separate Desmond from Ezio and Altair and send you home. Back to your body.
How do you know all this?
Because it happened to me. But my body, it's worm food now. So I'm stuck here. A word of warning? When you step through there, everything changes. Nothing feels normal. But you are still in control, and it's up to you to find your way out.
Right.
If you hurry, you might make it back in time for Lucy's funeral.
What?
Ah! Oh. I thought you knew.
Lucy. Oh, God. I'm so sorry. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was that voice. Juno. She took hold of me. She made me. What am I doing? What have I done?
All right, so let's talk a little bit about Desmond, but I believe we're gonna get right into the story after running through here. So, of course, as it showed here, that Desmond's life kind of took an interesting turn at the end of Brotherhood. Of course, if you've been following along, you know he was a bartender, kidnapped by Abstergo to relive the life of Altair ibn Ahad, to find a map to another piece of Eden to power their satellite. After being broke out by Lucy Stillman, he would relive the life of Ezio Auditore da Firenze, so he could train to be a better assassin. After finding out that Ezio received a message from Minerva,
My
we'll
dearest
get there
sister,
after the
I have
cutscene
been in
here.
Acre a week now, safe and in high spirits, but prepared for the worst. The men and women who have fed and sheltered me here also give me warning that the road to Masyaf is overrun by mercenaries and bandits, not native to this land. What this could mean, I dread to guess. When I first set out from Roma 10 months ago, I did so with a single purpose: to discover what our father did not. In a letter written the year before my birth, he makes mention of a library hidden beneath the stones of Masyaf Castle. A sanctum full of invaluable wisdom.
That would suck. Hit him right in the gap of his
What
armor
will
too.
I find when I arrive there? Who will greet me? A host of eager Templars, as I fear most strongly. Or nothing but the whistling of a cold and lonely wind. Masyaf has not been home to the assassins for almost 300 years now. Can we still claim it for our own? Are we welcome there? I am wary of this fight, Claudia. Not because I am tired, but because our struggle seems to move in one direction only. Towards chaos. Today, I have more questions than answers. This is why I've come so far. To find clarity. To find the wisdom left behind by the great Altair. So that I may better understand the purpose of our fight. And my place in it. Should anything happen to me, Claudia, should my skills fail me, or my ambition lead me astray, do not seek retribution or revenge in my memory, but fight to continue the search for truth, so that all may benefit. My story is one of many thousands, and the world will not suffer if it ends too soon.
Cinematics are amazing. Ezio's like, see, he was 41 in 1500, and this is like 1510, 1511. So as we scale Masyaf, we remember that Desmond relived Ezio's life here, so he could become an assassin. Then after Minerva touched an apple that he had a hold of and marked it, we find that here, there we go, thank you, Altair. We find that Desmond and his team of assassins would need to go after that apple, but to do so he would have to relocate to a different safe house because the Templars have overran their previous one and forced them out. Their new safe house would be the Villa Auditore in Monteriggioni, and they would have Desmond relive Ezio's life again, so they could find his where he stored the apple. So what we found is that after he found the apple and he opened up the resting place within the Colosseum, Desmond found a message from Juno that stated they built humans not to be wise, but only that they are the only hope for the future. And she shows isn't that the? She shows a hate for man, like a hatred for mankind, and that that her people breeding with humans was the only way to try to grant them the sense of wisdom, their sixth sense, the sense of knowledge. And when Desmond brings up the apple, Juno tells him that there was someone missing, and that the scales must be balanced, and because he knows little, she must guide him, and what she guides him to do is to kill Lucy. Then the way would be open before him, and that she must be found, that Eve was the term that she said, that Eve must be found, and that he has to waken the sixth sense and go alone. I'm not gonna tell you why Juno had Desmond kill Lucy right now, because I haven't decided if I'm going to play the DLC where that is explained, is not within the marathon, but I haven't decided if that's going to be something I play extra or not. So let's talk about where Ezio's story is, because very little is really needed to be caught up, especially after what we just saw. His story starts when his father and brothers were murdered in Florence. It was 14, no. Wow. Let's see, he was born in 1459. So it would have been, let's see, he said 20 years, 1470s, I think. Yeah, that would be about right, 1470s. Because he was 17 So that would have been 1476. Yeah, that sounds right. So he would hunt down all the conspirators, and then officially be inducted into the Assassin Order after sparring with Rodrigo Borgia, and gaining the Apple of Eden the first time. Eventually, the Pope's children would attack the villa, kill his uncle, steal his apple, and that would take him on a... This guy's gonna bug me. There we go. On another mission of vengeance. While in Rome, he would rebuild the Brotherhood there and destroy instruments of war that the Borgias had Leonardo da Vinci make. Let's get into the next mission, and then we will talk about the man we just met, Clay Kaczmarek, Subject 16. Ouch. Come at me, man. It's not Y no more, it's B.
Be merciful, please. I am a working man with a family.
Doing what kind of work?
Digging mostly. It took me a year to find this chamber. And for the past 3 months, I've been trying to break through this door.
You've not made much progress.
I have not made a dent. This stone is harder than steel.
I doubt you will. This door is guarding objects more valuable than all the gold in the world.
Ah, do you mean gemstones?
There are keyholes here. Where are the keys?
These Templars found one beneath the Ottoman Sultan's palace. As for the others, I suppose the little book will tell them.
What book?
A journal of some kind. That ugly captain, he carries it with him wherever he goes.
Go home. Find work with honest men.
Oh, I would love to leave this place. But these men, they will murder me if I try.
Pack your tools.
Alright, Clay Kaczmarek, Subject 16. He was approached around 2007 by William Miles, who was Desmond's father, about being inducted into the Assassin Brotherhood. A test he would actually pass. And then in 2010, he would be assigned the task of infiltrating the Templar organization of Abstergo Industries, to find out what they were looking for by figuring out genetic memory and what that was all about. Let's run up here real quick, because if you've been following me since the very beginning, this is where Altair had his issues with Al-Mualim. And you can see all these little things with Altair, these little ghosts. So yeah, this is kind of cool for people who've been following me since the beginning. Levantine assassin symbols, and just all it needs is a flag, man. That's pretty cool. And that is where we murdered Al-Mualim, right out there. Alright, onward.
The assassin must not get his hands on that book. When we reach Leandro's,
Hello, Cesare.
we'll escort him out of the village. You stay behind and make sure we're not followed.
Sounds like the voice of the man who voices not only Cesare Borgia, but Francesco De Pazzi from the previous 2 games. So I find that pretty cool. Hello. Alright, so after he found out what they were looking for and decided to escape, the bleeding effect left him unable to escape. During this moment that he found out the secrets about Lucy, which would be the reason why Desmond would kill her, but we're not getting there yet. Let's see. So after what he found out about Lucy would eventually lead to his suicide, from the bleeding effect and everything else. He would use his blood, though, to leave Desmond clues to help find the truth about human history. And not only would it help Desmond find the truth about human history, Adam and Eve and the Isu. Alright, give me the sword. This is not going well. There we go. It would also allow him to find a way to meet him right here. And since we're talking about Clay and his truth, which was in glyphs and rifts from Assassin's Creed 2, and I don't remember how to use parachute X. Alright. Glyphs and rifts from Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I'm going to talk about some of the truth that was within Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, within the rifts that he found there. But I'm not going to talk about it all tonight. There was, while not as much as was in the glyphs from 2, there was still a pretty decent amount. The biggest thing that the rifts found, that we found within the rifts, was that the Templars planned on using things like capitalism to distract the masses while they worked on building their New World Order. Ransom Eli Olds would be, he was the founder of the Olds Motor Company. And everything that I tell you tonight is going to be within lore unless I otherwise specify by telling you that something historically happened. So Ransom Olds, who typically went by the name Eli, was shown to be...
None of you leave until the assassin is dead. Do you understand?
Ignore me, Kirilo, but he seems to have found us.
So Olds was a Templar who was one of the founders of Abstergo, and he was actually worked with Henry Ford, another Templar, to design the assembly line. Alright, I don't like this mission, so we're going to focus on it, because I'm not really good with the sliding and stuff, or at least I don't think I'm good with it.
Behind us! Hey, you see him? What are you doing?
I don't...
Down. Die, you bastard!
Ouch. First full bar. get up there. Feels like I'm not supposed to get any farther up. Maybe that's why I think I'm bad at it. I get up so far and just continue to try to get up there. There we go. Wow, vibration there. That guy's name is not Leonidas. Leonis? Non-historically important Templar. If you have, specifically in this one, if you have a, can force them into something like that, or you have a bigger angle when you do the ramming, you tend to do much better than they do. I think you have, oh, dang it, I didn't realize it, I couldn't drive over that one. Ooh, you got me on that one. My turn. Some damage I do. No. Nope. Didn't go well for me. Yeah, I made it. I didn't think I was gonna make it. First look at a bomb. Bang! Bombs are huge in this one. So the next big thing that the rifts within Brotherhood would bring up would be the Bretton Woods Conference. Historically, it was actually known as the United Nations Monetary and Financial Conference.
For a moment. Do you understand me? Nothing gets through.
I wonder how he got his cut. Leandros. There's his name.
Well. Look what crawled out of its hole to die. He's at death's door. Finish him off. Bring me his head, or throw yourselves into the canyon.
It was known as the Bretton Woods Conference because that's where it was located. It was in Bretton Woods. It was in New England. I can't remember if it was New Hampshire or Maine. And its intent was to regulate the international monetary and financial order after the conclusion of World War II. The conference was held between July 1st and 22nd of 1944. Agreements were signed, and after legislative ratification by the member governments, it established the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development and the International Monetary Fund. plans for the conference was started early in the Second World War, when John Maynard Keyes. Oops, I went too far. Yeah, you can't see me, man. Messed that up bad. He's gruesome. Very gruesome. What? John Maynard Keyes of the British Treasury and Harry Dexter White of the U.S. Treasury Department started to develop ideas for the financial order of the world after World War II. And within the lore, it was also a meeting of the economic, legal sense. It's changed buttons. The economic advisors of Abstergo. This was a place where they basically got together and would agree to what the Templar Order wanted out of the economy, including this also included, of course, John Maynard Keyes, Harry Dexter White. I'm sorry, not Jerry, and because they were both Templars themselves. And I'm not going to worry about. Time to hide. That guy saw me. They were both Templars, and there was also a speech. See if this will work. See if he. Oh, all right. Well, I'm not gonna worry about that. So there was a speech that was given by an unknown assassin. We don't know exactly who it was, about the plan that Henry Ford and Ransom Olds created in 1910, and that that communism, what it would create, and that Hitler and Stalin was used to create turmoil and fear that was necessary for the implementation of the new economic systems that they were creating. Almost want to just call him John now. John Maynard Keyes was, of course, a British Templar, and like his real-world counterpart, his thoughts on economics would be the basis for what is called the Keynesian economic school of thought. Harry Dexter White, of course, was an American economic Templar. He worked within the U.S. Treasury, and eventually, within lore, of course, he betrayed the order. He worked with the Soviets.
Could it be that you are every bit as deadly as the legends say? Or am I in charge of an army of drunks swinging sticks? Right this way, Ezio. Nowhere left to run now!
Not for me, and not for you.
Kill that dog! Cut him down!
I see him! There!
So, since he was worried about the Abstergo and their intentions of a global economy, he would be accused of leading a Russian espionage ring, and within the U.S. Treasury within 1948, was killed in his home the same year on August 16th by Abstergo. What just happened? There we go.
Dulls the pain.
So basically, he would work with the Russians because he was not happy with the plans that Abstergo had. And then afterwards, Abstergo decided that they were going to kill him in 1948, and he died on August 16th. A little bit more interesting is that that kind of goes along with those two is Alan Turing. Historically, he was an English mathematician. Oh, hold on. This I gotta focus on, or I'm not gonna get very far. I'm gonna shot of the fall on him. Oh, I should be fine now. Alan Turing, and he'll be the last one that we talk about through this sequence. Because the rest of them are on a different subject that we find. Alan Turing was the English mathematician, cryptologist, and computer scientist, and is often considered to be the father of computer science. Oh.
Don't you ever stop howling.
Went fairly quickly.
The old hound still has a bite.
The book you carry, where is it?
Niccolo Polo's journal. This will do you no good. Not now. We have found one of the Masyaf keys already, and are closing in on the rest.
What is in that library is not for you, not for the Templars.
You can have Altair's books, Ezio. We only want guidance. We only want directions. To the location of the Grand Temple.
Grand Temple? Tell me more, now.
He's dead.
Requiescat in pace, bastardo.
Now that is the end of Ezio's part of Sequence 1.
This apple. It is a remarkable piece of work. Feel the material, hard as steel, but very light.
You really want to be fooling with that thing?
I do. I absolutely do. I have been waiting a long time to get my hands on one of these.
Okay, you're making me nervous, Bill.
Don't be. I don't think I have the right genes to properly wield it.
Oh, but Desmond, you think he does?
What the hell just happened? You were snooping. Wandering outside the Desmond partition. So once the Animus located you, it pulled you back here. It's just following orders. Like a fail-safe program. Trying to keep your poor head intact, whether you like it or not.
What are you doing here exactly?
Playing. Learning. Waiting. A lot of waiting. I keep the Animus distracted as best I can. For you, so you can explore. Otherwise, it might hunt you down like a little virus and, delete you.
Well, my guardian angel.
There's no such thing.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Alright, I'm going to tell you about Alan Turing. I'm going to hop in here, and I believe that we'll end up calling it a night. I think. Are these open yet?
Sean, it's me. What's happening?
Are you at the airport?
Yeah, we're chartering a jet. Are you coming?
Well, they are.
Yes, yeah. I'll be there soon.
Good.
They buried her already.
I heard.
The little cemetery outside Rome. Nice place.
God, things got so fucked up so fast.
Is Desmond still out?
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of brain activity, but the monitoring system shut down. We can't record anything.
Well, keep me posted, okay? I'll see you soon.
Actually, we will do this one if it'll let me in. Because this will give you Desmond's journey. And then we'll head back inside, and this is where we'll talk about this is where we get a lot of Desmond's early history through these 5 missions, which you'll find is going to be a pain in the butt. We'll talk about Alan Turing while we do this, and then we'll walk back into the Ezio partition, and if it does what I think it'll do.
This must be the core of the Animus. No simulations, no environments. I can't even feel my own body. Everything's just
Because
raw
we're a
data.
floating head.
So am I still me, or am I some kind of computer program?
So if this does what I think it'll do, once we go back into the main Ezio partition and bring up sequence 2, we will call it a night. So Alan Turing was an English mathematician, logician, cryptologist, and computer science. He is a computer scientist that is often considered to being the father of computer science. He was the man who broke the code for the German Enigma machine and developed the Turing test, which essentially was a way to show if a machine had the ability to show intelligent behavior equivalent or indistinguishable from a human. Did I hit that right? Yeah. So that's who he was in real life. Within lore, he was a Templar. Surprise. Oh, I hate these things. No, I didn't hit it. Of course I had to have, but it's not doing anything. So within lore, Alan Turing was a Templar, and he would announce to the world that he wanted to create a robot. His colleagues would tell him not to, based on the fear that it would lead to... Oh, here's what I wanted. Walked right past it.
Home. I was born here. The farm. Yeah, they called it the farm. My parents, 24 couples, some kids, a community, hidden away.
Would tell him not to really make a robot because they feared it would lead to mass unemployment and the drop in the human birth rate. Turing would say no.
Small houses in the Black Hills. Right. The clear skies, wood smoke, wind, the stink of gasoline, generators running day and night. I remember.
So Turing would tell him no.
We live simply.
Stop talking,
almost
Desmond.
like nomads. So far from everything. Ready to pack up and go at the drop of a hat. If we were discovered, if they found us.
So Turing would tell them no. So when he went to build it anyway, 1952, the Templars would have him arrested on gross indecency.
The farm. Wasn't much of one, was it? Not a proper farm. We grew some food. I don't remember any animals, though. Maybe a few dogs.
Look outside and you can see, I think that's Rome. That's what it looks like anyway. So, in 1952, they would have him arrested on gross indecency.
The
And
assassins. I was born into it. I didn't choose. It was like a birthright. You are an assassin, they told me. What did that even mean?
when the charges of
Ever
gross...
since I was young, they never stopped saying it. You are an assassin. You are an assassin. And this is our creed.
When...
Nothing is true.
What did that mean? A world without purpose?
Everything is permitted.
Everything is permitted?
So when the gross indecency charge would not, oh, I messed up, didn't I? Yep. Failed to stop him. The Templars would kill him on June 7th, 1954, and making it appear to be a suicide with a cyanide-laced apple. It reminds the thought of it kind of reminded me of what happened between Rodrigo and Cesare.
And they will not stop until every one of us is dead.
Yeah, I believed for a while. But I never understood. That's the trouble when you're born into something. Belief without understanding. Everyone was so serious. Scared, too. All that talk of assassins and Templars. The end of the world.
So that's the end of the riff information that I'm going to get into today. We will continue a little bit more on it tomorrow when we do sequence number 2.
Desmond, empower yourself.
Every man has his limit, I guess. I can't remember when I stopped believing. When I stopped caring. God, it all sounded so stupid. I couldn't hear the word Templar without laughing. And assassin? Forget it. An ancient war, they said. An endless struggle. But I never cared. Who knew it was possible to bore a kid with war stories? I guess I was lonely. Alone in a crowd. If I could have told them that, maybe they would have listened. If only I could go back. If I could tell them I'm sorry.
It's the end of that Desmond mission. So let's see if we have the end of sequence 1, like I believe we do. Hey, look, an achievement! I didn't do that before?
Sean, it's me.
That's
What's
cool.
happening?
Are you at the airport?
Yeah, we're chartering a
That's
jet. Are you coming?
Yes, yeah. I'll be there soon.
Oh, we'll listen to this again.
They buried her already.
I heard.
The little cemetery outside Rome. Nice place.
God, things got so fucked up so fast.
Is Desmond still out?
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of brain activity, but with the monitoring system shut down, we can't record anything.
Well, keep me posted, okay? I'll see you soon.
Alright, that should be the end of sequence 1.
Dear sister, Masyaf is overrun by a battery of Templars, and their motive is clear. They desire the secrets locked away in Altair's library. Secrets they believe will lead them to something called the Grand Temple. Whether or not this is true, I do know the library is real. I have seen its door for myself. But none can enter. Not without 5 keys which were sent to Constantinople with Niccolo Polo almost 300 years ago. Claudia, I must find these keys. The Templars have already located one, and I do not know how difficult it will be to find the others. Only time, skill, and a bit of luck will tell.
Yes, we're gonna grab a pause right there because this is the very beginning of sequence 2, and that is for tomorrow. So I hope you had as much fun watching this. Check out my social media and my website in the description below, and if you enjoy the gameplay and everything else, give me a follow and a like and all that fun stuff, and I hope that you all have a great night.